Somehow there was never a feeling that wasn't a close 24-point win. There's a method why we did that, but when you watch, Hillsdale doesn't have a team. Hillsdale has a program, and it's what we try to do as well. You try and get the right kids. They play a great system. They're there for quite a bit of time, and they just get better and better and better. Watching Kyle Cooper over 4 years, he's become a really, really good player who could play in a lot of Division I places. So being a coach of Lemoyne for 9 years, I hope that people would say we ran a program like Hillsdale has done. So it was great for our guys to have to guard really smart players that could all shoot, have a system, and learn from it.
That's head coach John Beilein from the University of Michigan, and now we bring in our own head coach John Tharp. That's not bad, right?
Yeah, pretty great words. We appreciate how kind he was, and humbling. Our kids played really, really hard and did a lot of good things. And I think when you hear a guy like John Beilein say those types of things, you realize what type of wonderful person he is, and a great coach. And there's a lot of Hillsdale pride in Ann Arbor on that Saturday, and the 4 coaches that are standing with you right now had a tremendous amount of pride in the kids in the program, and to see the amount of blue that was in that stadium was pretty cool. And so we took it all in, embraced it, and enjoyed the process. And as I told them after the game, it was about a quarter of a time we played really well, quarter of a time we didn't. And about another half of the time they were the University of Michigan, and we just couldn't do some things against them. But a great experience, and hearing Coach Beilein's words is obviously humbling, and we appreciate it.
You have brought so much to this program, but one of the things you've done for your kids is the opportunity to play at some incredible venues. Assembly Hall, short of Cameron and maybe North Carolina, maybe UCLA. I mean, that's one of the great venues in all of college basketball. To play at East Lansing, to play in Ann Arbor, I think people want to know how you do it. How do you get these opportunities for your kids to play at these big time programs?
Yeah, you know what? We've developed some relationships with some of the head coaches at those places, and we see them on the road in July, and we spend some time with them. And I think that they have a tremendous amount of respect of our kids in the program that we're running, and I think that they understand that when they're done playing with us, they're going to learn something about their own team. And so we work at it, and we make some promises that we won't beat them, but we're lying obviously when we say that to them. But it's awesome. You think about going to Michigan State and having Tom Izzo come on the bus afterwards to talk to our team about how hard they played, and you go to Assembly Hall, one of the great meccas of college basketball, and then going to Ann Arbor and hearing Coach Beilein saying the things that he did about your program. It's great. It's a great way to start the basketball season, and we have a blast, and it's kind of neat seeing how the other half kind of lives with their facilities and so forth.
I was impressed. I was listening to the radio broadcast on the way home from Wayne State. I hate the way that this worked. Everybody I know went to this game except for me, the guy who does your games on the radio, because we had one more football game to do, and that was fun too. It would have been great to have been able to have done both of them. But listening on the way home, Beilein talked a lot about your team. He talked about Tim Dzelski a lot, which means that he had either watched some film or did a little bit of homework about you guys from the past. And he was really, really high on Kyle Cooper. I know you like him a lot, too. You got him for another couple of years here at Hillsdale College. I thought the interesting dynamic here was that this was actually a game for them. It counted on their record. It didn't for you guys. It was just an exhibition. I take it that you tried to do the best you could to win the game.
Well, we did, and it was so funny when we were having the discussions with Beilein leading up to the game. This was happening in the summertime. John went through our old roster of last year, and the first guy he asked about was Tim Dzelski. And I started chuckling. I said, John, you don't have to worry about him because he's graduating. He just said, I want to make sure that he's graduating. Are you sure that he's graduating? I'm like, yeah, absolutely sure. Then he asked about Brandon Pritzel, but Coach Beilein is really detailed oriented, and we tried absolutely. We threw everything at them, and and our guys were excited to play, and it was great to see our guys kind of throw that first punch at Michigan, and the success that we had at the beginning of the game and of the second half, and we kept coming at them, and I thought we showed some real character, and they did some things to us that we just couldn't handle, but it was a fun day.
You know my little buddy Wade, my 9-year-old. He's been to your camps every time, and he was having a hard time because he was going. And we root for Michigan for the big time college basketball, and he loves you guys too. And so he said, "Dad, I'm not rooting for either one. I'm struggling with this." But for him to be able to see the banner go up and to touch the banner, and we have a little. They handed out replica banners that we have in our living room right now. What a great day. And so many people in the community really, really enjoyed going up there and rooting for Hillsdale College basketball. And the fact that it was a game, and you had it back down to 10 points or so with like 6 or 7 minutes left, it really was a basketball game. It wasn't just a blowout. And I think a lot of Michigan fans were interested in it because it was the first chance to see this new Michigan Wolverine team. So many of their guys are gone. Glenn Robinson III, Stauskas, and Mitch McGarry are gone. Let's see what Walton can do. Let's see what some of these young kids are going to do. So a lot of eyes on that game. Awesome experience and so much fun. But the GLIAC season is looming. You've got some games before that. You go to Cedarville next week. What are you going to try to do in these next couple of games leading into the GLIAC year? What are you trying to find out about your team as you get closer to the GLIAC season?
Well, as I told them when we started practice on Monday, it's time to clean up and get better. And that's been our whole focus. The experience at Michigan was great. A lot of great pitchers and things, but it's time to put that behind us, and it's time to move forward and focus on what's next. And that's the day in front of us. And obviously we have Cedarville coming up, and we're trying to learn about our team yet as well. We have some experience, but really the roles of our players have changed. We counted so much for years with Dzelski and with Pritzel and Tony Nelson and a variety of seniors that have graduated. And so we're trying to really focus on being the best defensive team that we possibly can, and we're starting to make sure that guys understand their roles a little bit better. But our guys need to figure out, and at the beginning, it's them. They got to rely on each other, and it's their turn to step up and kind of take the bull by the horns here, and it's their program and take control. And so we're learning about ourselves every day, but I think this team has a lot of character, a lot of heart, and we're excited about the future. It's a team that has a chance to be together really for about 2 years, and so we think the future is bright for us, but we got work to do.
I have so many things to ask you, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Tim Dzelski, superstar, one of the top players in the GLIAC conference. He's still playing, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Ryan talk to him.
All right, Schwani.
Schwani's gonna talk to him. He knows him all the time, so go ahead.
Yeah, Tim's over in Luxembourg right now.
Okay.
He 10 games into their season, maybe a little more. Top team in the league. Tim's putting up numbers just like he did last year. He actually just recorded a triple-double for the first time in his career.
Gosh, that's awesome.
So he's been playing pretty well.
Is there any way to stream that or watch it?
His league actually is not one of the higher leagues that have the video, but we talk a lot through some of our apps on our phone, all that. We kind of walkie-talkie talk, and he keeps us updated pretty well. So he's doing well, though.
Tim Dzelski's good at basketball.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. We wish we could have kept him for another couple of years. Pretty special.
Just really loved him and the way he emerged. I remember when he was a freshman, and I had no idea. It reminds me a little bit of Veldier, to be honest with you. I mean, we had no clue how good Jared Veldier was going to be. He was another guy. Tim might have been, you could tell he would be a contributor, but not. I never thought he'd be a superstar, and I'm so proud of him and what he's done. Stedman Lowry is a guy that most folks weren't real familiar with going into that game. He drained 3 triples in the first couple minutes. He made it 12-3, Hillsdale leading Michigan at that point. Coach Lacer, what about Stedman? What are we looking for from that young guy?
Stedman's a guy who paid his dues a little bit last year. He redshirted, and he really had a great opportunity to learn from some of our older wings. And he had to go against Brandon Pritzel, who was a multiple-time all-defensive team player every day. And so he took that experience. He learned from that. He learned what it took to be successful in our system from that. He's done a great job in the weight room and getting his conditioning up to where he can really do a lot of things. And he's one of the more dynamic players that we've had at the wing spot in our program. He's got an incredible touch on his jump shot, and he just understands our motion and how to move to get himself open. And he just has a knack to find open shots for himself and help other guys get open shots.
The phone call, or what's he doing when he hits a three? It's all over the internet. All I see is pictures of Stedman putting up like he's calling on the phone after he hits a three. What's that all about? Did you teach him that, Luke?
I did not teach him that. That was one thing that they kind of came up with. That's his long distance call from beyond the arc.
Can you hear me now? I like that. That's very clever. We know about Stedman Lowry now after that big spurt that he showed against Michigan. Any other young guys, Coach, that you think could emerge that Charger fans aren't real familiar with?
Nick Archer.
Is
we think he's really a difference maker in the post, truthfully, and has a tremendous back-to-basket game. And people really haven't seen him yet, and you'll see him quite a bit, really, for the next 2 or 3 years. But he's a real big, strong, physical kid. Does a lot of things for us. Can shoot the ball, post up, kind of a throwback, big man with a back-to-basket game. And so we're really excited about him. And we have a really we think we have a really special freshman group. But it's a class that people are going to be patient because the majority of them are going to redshirt. But we think it's a group that really has a chance. We just every day we walk into our office and kind of go, man, this freshman class has a chance to be great.
They're twins in there.
There's two.
Tell us about the twins.
Athens, Greece. Yep. It's a kind of a long story. We were in Greece about 4 years ago with the program. Met some basketball people. I went back a couple summers ago. Had a chance to see the young men at a camp setting, and they're great kids. Really personable, intelligent, and really proud. They've adjusted. Can you imagine? Coming across the globe, coming to America, seeing winter. I would be in the plane, I think, heading back to Athens after the last couple of days. But it's going to take them some time to kind of learn how to play, the kind of our system and the American style play. But really good kids, and so excited about them. And we have one freshman named Nathan Neville who probably won't redshirt. He's a kind of could be a point, could be a wing, but pretty talented kid, and we're really excited about having him a part of our program.
It's cool that Mano works on campus. Did you ever run into Anthony? Does he show up once in a while and show these kids how to shoot it or not? Anthony
shows up and teaches them how to dress and how to lift, and so it's great to have him on campus. He's done a great job, and it's just it's I think we're like proud fathers and uncles every time we see these when these guys are around, and obviously having Anthony here and what he's done, we're really proud of him, and great kid.
A couple guys I've been keeping my eye on for a while. A guy that I think has a ton of potential, but it'll be interesting to see how he utilizes it, is Jason Pretzer. He's a great big guy. I know he likes to step out and shoot it a little bit. Pistol, how have you been working on the evolution of Pretzer, and what do you think we'll see improvement-wise from him this year?
Well, I think the big thing with Jason is he's probably the most skilled big man we've ever had on Hillsdale. He can, like you said, he can step out and shoot it, and we're continue to develop his post game, and I think we have more confidence in his post game than he does at times. But Ryan and Coach Tharp work with the bigs every day right now, and they continue to work every day on his post moves and trying. We got to get him down there at times, and he does some good things every day, and he's continuing to improve. And we need Jason to defend and rebound to really help us as well.
Kyle Cooper, Coach Tharp, is an incredible student. He's a great kid, and I saw you challenging him last year a lot, getting right into him and saying, "Look, you can give us even more," and pushing him. And you saw what he did throughout most of the season last year as a sophomore with Tim still around. Do you think he's ready to be the guy, to step in and really take over the team and be a leader and that kind of productive guy every single night?
We think he is, and truthfully, he has to be. It's one of those situations until we kind of mature again throughout the process of a season. And we really talked to Kyle about, there's so many different ways he can help us win basketball games. He's going to have to be a great rebounder, and he's going to have to be a great defender. And we've really worked on him scoring in a variety of different ways. He runs the floor like a deer, and so we think he can get some transition scores. His low post game has improved. His three-point shooting, we think, has improved, and he's better off the bounce. And so he's really taken a stride. And I think, Andy, what you just suggested is one of our big question marks that we have as a coaching staff is, these guys, it's the first time that these guys have to be the guy and to go through the ups and downs of a season and Thursday, Saturday battles. And I talked to Kyle, matter of fact, on Monday about, hey, you're targeted now, and you need to accept that challenge. And we think that he will. And we have we know that he will. We have faith in him. And, we're going to have to keep him out of foul trouble. And he also knows that the way that we play, it doesn't mean that he has to do it every single night from a standpoint of getting X amount of shots or X amount of points. And so, we think, again, we got a team that we're going to have a variety of different guys that have a chance to hurt people. And we're trying to find that consistency day in and day out in practice. And we've just talked to our guys about those, the idea of what it means to build throughout a season. And, the day-to-day work is really, really important.
Coach Tharp has that long drive over to Bud Long, so I don't want to keep you a lot longer, but a couple more things before I let you go. Looking around the GLIAC Conference, the old money, always on Findlay, Grand Valley is usually pretty darn good. Northwood has popped up and are now kind of a threat as well. As you look at the landscape of that conference, who do you see as maybe a surprise team that you have to be concerned about going into the year?
Well, I think the one team that no one really is talking about is Saginaw Valley. I think Saginaw Valley has a chance to be really special. They had some great young talent last year. They're a year older. They had a couple of transfers from Oakland University that are really going to help them. They're going to be very good. Obviously, Northwood has maybe the most dynamic player in the history of the GLIAC, a young man that was at USC, was Pac-10 Freshman of the Year, and I think he was on the All-Conference in the Pac-10. And when you think about that, that's a big statement. Wow. And so you get your standbys obviously in Michigan Tech and Grand Valley and Findlay, and Ferris is a talent, and Walsh maybe is the most talented team in our league. They have almost everybody back from last year, and so. And other teams have made improvements. Our old friend Danny Evans at Ohio Dominican has taken strides, and so I think Tiffin's going to be better. It's Andy, we've both been around a long time now, and we know how good this league is, and it's a fine line between winning and losing, and so we're just trying to pay attention to the details and all the little stuff that we hope will help us win basketball games. But it's going to be a dogfight again, night in and night out. The
conference is so much fun. It might not be for you guys, but for the fans, it's a battle over there at the arena every single night. And I want to ask you about the arena. I think if fans went to your games last year, and a lot of people did, they were really impressed by the changes. Wait till you go. Wait till you go now. It's way better than even what you saw last year, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's every day we walk in there, we have a smile on our face, and you think about that wood court that we had 3 years ago, and just they did an unbelievable job. We give a lot of thanks and credit to Rich Payway and Dr. Arn and John Cervini and Don Brubaker and the people that were kind of behind all that. It's one of the best settings we think in the GLIAC and maybe all of Division II, and we think it can be loud. And it should be a place that should be a fun place to come cheer on the Chargers, and loud and exciting, and it's a good family atmosphere.
Now, do you have new locker room facilities? Is all of that done?
All of it's done. And
let's roll.
That's absolutely.
Yeah, let's go.
Rock and roll. It's nice. New offices. And
I kind of liked your old locker. That was cozy. But this is going to be great to have the new facility finished.
Really nice. Very nice.
The way that they incorporated the corners. And kind of made it feel like that enclosed bowl type intimate setting. And, on the side opposite your bench, proper seats with backs and all the rest of it. It's nice. It's really nice, and you guys deserve it. Not you guys, the volleyball team, Claudette's program, class acts, first rate all the way, and you guys deserve a facility like that. And I know you're going to do a lot to show that you've earned it and deserve it every day at practice and all the rest of it. I suggest UCLA next year at UCLA for that preseason game. Let's see if we can make it happen. What do you think?
I agree. And Andy, you're with us. Forget about that last football game.
No,
I'm sorry.
If we're playing at UCLA, or Cameron, I would do Cameron indoor.
Absolutely, we're working. We're working. We got some things up our sleeves. More news coming. So we're doing our best, and so we hope to have another couple games next year, and it's awesome.
Cedarville next week. Good luck with that. We'll be talking to you soon, and have our first home game coming up real soon as well, right here on WCSR. Thank you guys for being here through the blizzard and the snowstorm, and have a great night. Thanks, guys.
You're the man.